Hello. Welcome everyone to Atlassian System of Work presentation. My name is Arthur. I'm the partner manager at Atlassian. You probably have seen myself and Philip at the booth there. So if you do have any questions after the presentation, I'll leave a bit of time. And if you do have any personal follow-up questions, please find us at the booth. But yes, Atlassian System of Work, and I believe this is the greatest title for the event that's called More Than Jira Day, because we're so much more than just Jira. And hopefully, you're going to get to learn that. So, the future demands a new way of working. The bold statement that we've come up at Atlassian, because current processes have become very much outdated across various industries. Current processes are really complicated. So in order to communicate with your colleagues, teammates across different teams, it is very much of a zigzag way, right? You never know how to get to them, how to properly share the information because it's so siloed and you waste a lot of time on that collaboration. That's why if you do want to succeed in a technology-driven organization, we do propose to work in a very much of a direct, linear way that will first and foremost save a lot of time for you and your colleagues and will enable much better collaboration, which will lead to better results. And you know, one of the examples that we always give, if you want to send a rocket ship into space, you should be using Atlassian. That's an actual case, and if you don't know, NASA is one of our key customers. So there, the whole program of going to Mars is basically supported by Atlassian. A fun fact of the day. If you don't remember anything, maybe this is one thing that you can remember from my talk. So, we have a whole team of scientists who have PhDs in behavioral science, in psychology, and their whole role in the group that's called Teamwork Lab is to analyze how the best organizations, the best, the biggest, the brightest organizations work across the world. So for the last 20 plus years, the whole job has been to analyze and understand how those large organizations operate. And of course, it's predominantly technology-driven organizations. So you can see that teams are playing telephone instead of using technology. Employees spend quarter of the work week searching for the information, right? You basically have one day that is wasted on search of different stuff. And 98% of executives are worried that teams aren't effectively using AI, with only 2% of leaders saying that they're utilizing it effectively. So what we have come up with throughout this 20 plus years of research is some ideas and understanding of how this should properly operate. What we've come up with, the system of work, right? It's a magic catching title that our team has worked on for a long time to help you, people who are using Atlassian and are using Jira, Confluence, and other solutions, to try to broaden the horizon and understand that we're so much more than just those specific products, right? So what is that magic system of work? It's a philosophy. I know it's a big word, and we think that we have the right to use the word because at the moment there are millions of users of Atlassian. We are operating across literally 80% of Fortune 500 companies, and I think that we know one or two things of what we're talking about. So it is a philosophy of how technology-driven organizations should work by connecting technology and business teams to accelerate progress and maximize team impact. So this philosophy is something that we've come up with, and I will try to kind of untangle bits and pieces of that philosophy. It bases upon the idea that there are various different departments in most of the organizations. And at the moment, again, if we're talking about Jira specifically, it's mostly used and adopted by the devs, the product teams, the service teams potentially, but what about the other teams, right? You do need to collaborate across your organization, and what we're seeing is that those organizations are not leveraging that technology that is available at the moment, or are not even thinking of implementing those other technologies across the broader organization. Because we understand organizations are complex, there are a lot of moving parts, and we have solutions for that. So how do we actually propose to implement system of work into your organization? First and foremost, it's all about aligning your work to goals. Because your management teams, your C-level leadership sets the goals, and it's very important for every single person across the whole organization to work only on the right things, right? Not to waste time on smaller, siloed goals, but to focus on the goals that directly go into the leadership team so that everything stacks up and leads to one single key driver of the company. Second is to plan and track work, right? How do we understand that people work efficiently? It's by planning and tracking that work. And again, it goes for all of the departments. It really should resonate with every single person. The other part is actually unleashing the collective knowledge. Very often, different departments store the knowledge on their own kind of silo department, right? They don't share the information, or it sits somewhere on their laptop that you do not have access, or even sometimes on Confluence when you don't really have the processes to share this information across the organization. And most importantly, a real system of work implementation should always have the AI at the core of the team and the organization, right? This is like the uniting part that will drive your system of work to success. And Philip is going to talk a lot more about the AI and our cool features that we offer that are called Rovo. And I do hope you've heard about it. So what we've actually come up with is an Atlassian portfolio of products. And you can see there's so much more than Jira that we've segmented into specific collections. At the bottom of it, you can see that there is the teamwork collection. That is something we say is necessary for any technology-driven organization. Your favorite Jira, your Confluence, and then you have Loom, which is the strategic tool for asynchronous communication, a video tool, and then there is the agents of teamwork, Rovo, that again, as I mentioned, Philip is going to talk to you much more about. On the top, you have the strategic collection. This is what your management teams should be using in order to set the goals and make sure that every single person is aligned to those goals, right? And you have the Jira line there, the focus and the talent. And then there are specific buckets for the dev teams, right? For the service teams and for the product teams. So every single team gets something cool from Atlassian, and at the end, it all creates the system of work. But don't think that I'm trying to sell you the whole bunch of products. It doesn't mean that it's necessary for your organization. It's the variety of solutions, and I always talk about it, you know, like you come to a candy shop and you do a mix and match, right? You just choose and select what's appropriate and most necessary for you, and then you try to implement it across your organization. So, at the basis of everything that I'm talking about lies the Atlassian platform, right? Now we're moving into being a true software as a service platform. So you get the Atlassian platform that's powered by Teamwork Graph, and I know Robert and Jakob have spoken about it a little bit in the morning, but what I want to stress that this is the cool functionality that drives it all, right? All of that is only available on the cloud. And this is something that you have at the basis, and then you add those apps on top of it. So it's like a cool app store that you go to. You get Atlassian, and then you get your add-ons. Again, the add-ons sit in those different buckets for service teams, software teams, all teams, product teams, and leadership teams. And you have the Rovo as the uniting part of the AI that really enables you to connect those parts of your organization. So, Teamwork Graph. That is something that powers our Atlassian cloud platform, right? You have your enterprise infrastructure, and then you have a very complex tool that enables you to collect various sorts of data and analytics across your organization to have the power to connect the teams, the goals, the work, and the knowledge. Moreover, and of course, it provides you with those cool experiences. The data visualization, the automations, the Atlassian intelligence, and search. But what's really important as well, that our Teamwork Graph can connect with your external apps as well. Your Slack, your Google, your other tools that you might be using. So it's all kind of brings it all together into the Atlassian as the main center of your system of work to really and truly connect your organization. So once again, system of work principles, it all is very, very simple. Aligning your work to goals so that every single person within the organization adds into the top goals. Plan and track your work across organization efficiently and transparently so that everybody knows what they're doing and how much time they're spending on it. Unleash the collective knowledge, right? Share it and make sure that everybody can see what's happening in the organization and you can really leverage that information that you're using. And of course, use the AI to bring this all together and unite it under one single umbrella. So what happens when the organizations actually and truly adopt our system of work and go beyond just a simple one single product that we offer? You have 40% faster time to value. You have a 75% project success and 35% reduced interruptions, right? This is all, you can see it's from the Enterprise Strategy Group report, which really has collected a bunch of data across the largest organizations that really shows that Atlassian can help you optimize those processes and make sure that you're operating in the best way possible. Probably most of the people here are Atlassian users and already have answered the question, why Atlassian? But I do want to stress that we have more than 300,000 customers. I do love the second point that there are 2 planets with our software on them, and then you have Moon as a satellite, so you can add this to the cool list. There is an enormous community that you're all part of it, with almost 5 million people. There's 6,000 marketplace apps, and I also want to take a second to kind of highlight that we take our work really seriously, and we also want to give back to the community. So it's a very strong effort by Atlassian to give 1% from all of our profits and earnings to donations and charity. So we really take it very seriously. And if you speak to any Atlassians, they can tell you all about the good work that we're trying to do outside of the organization. So, you know, it's the 2 good things. You will optimize your processes with Atlassian by embracing our system of work, and you're also supporting a company that does something good. At least I believe that. And just to use one of the examples of the customers who has actually been very successful with the system of work, to give you some context, Rivian does fully electric pickup trucks. I think they were first on the market. As you know, the market is very competitive, and you do need to beat Tesla on the market. So Rivian came over to Atlassian and said that they have those issues and they want to be the best of breed. They want to be a true technology-driven organization that will be the leader of creating electric vehicles. So once they have adopted a bunch of Atlassian products, and you can see a list of products there, so it's, you know, your classic Teamwork Collection, Jira, Confluence, Loom, and Rovo. Then you have your Jira Service Management and the automation and analytics. So they started as a very ambitious startup, and now they are a very well-established market leader in the electric pickup production, sorry. They've seen a 2.5 million total savings and more than 750 hours saved per person per year. It's an astonishing number that really helped them excel because they have adopted the whole philosophy and implemented those solutions across various different teams. So that was an overview of Atlassian system of work. Thank you very much for listening, and I would like to open it to any questions if you might have any now. It's all good. No pressure on that. Thank you very much. And if you do want, please feel free to find myself or Philip just at the booth there. Thank you very much.